very great morning to you watching Westnile Television, and I am glad you are awake this morning. 24 minutes past the hour of 7 a.m. You're most welcome. It is KOKOLIRIKO Live. My name is Denis Oringi, and you can as well visit my Twitter handle at Oringi Francis11, and that is my Twitter handle, so that we can really have a conversation with you. All right, thank you very much. It is 31st of May 2023, the last day of the month of May, and tomorrow will be 1st of June 2023, and I know we are counting down to the end of the year. So once we get to 1st of June tomorrow, we shall be starting the the month that makes half of the year, and so that means that we are moving too fast. For your information, and for those who do not know, if you're not busy, you will not know that months are moving, and also time is moving. And so if you're a busy person, you will be able to know that a year that has 12 months is like nothing right there. All right, those who are catching us live within Westnile sub-region, we thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We do appreciate you very much. And those who are catching us live from Acholi sub-region, northern Uganda, thank you very much for waking up together with Westnile Television. Not forgetting those who are catching us live from the Bunyoro sub-region, we thank you in the district of Bulizo, Hoima, Masindi, Kirandongo, plus other districts that are in the Bunyoro region, and not forgetting those in the Lao and Teso sub-regions, Karamuja region. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We thank you very much, and those catching us live from different regions that we have in this country, Uganda, we thank you. Not forgetting those who are catching us live from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, those who are catching us live from that is South Sudan, the capital Juba, and not forgetting those in the diaspora out of Africa. We thank you very much, and those who are catching us live using the Zuko satellite, we thank you. We do appreciate you very much for choosing Westnile Television on Zuko satellite television, and not forgetting those on Star Times and satellite as well, and you're catching us live using the channel 477. We thank you. Not forgetting those on YouTube, thank you very much for joining us this morning on the YouTube, and also those joining us using the Facebook page of Westnile Television Live. We thank you, and make sure that you like and also share the link right there. And so it's important that we should be able to spread the information and grow the socials of the television, and also inform a friend, and a friend will be able to tell a friend about Westnile Television. We are the only cable television located in the Westnile sub-region, and if you want to do a business with us, you want your information to reach the greater people of Westnile and also the whole world, Westnile Television is right here for you. And so we are here to really promote you, and you promoting us, and that is what we can really do together. And for those who want to write to us, you can write to westniletelevision@gmail.com, and for more inquiries, and you can as well follow Westnile Television on different platforms that we do have. And for those who want to communicate to us physically, you can visit us at plot 39A Weatherhead Park Lane right here in Arua City, Westnile sub-region, Uganda at large. And you can as well go to Twitter handle Westnile Television, Facebook handle, and also you can as well go to YouTube and write your comments. Or if you need contact of any person working for Westnile Television and you want to have a conversation, a business conversation with the person, you can really use those platforms to reach us, and we shall be able to communicate to you. All right, thank you very much, dear viewer. It is a morning right here, bright one here in Westnile. I like the way the sun is really rising and coming up with the terrific speed. Brightness is there, and that means that it will be sunny the whole day. I am not a person working with Uganda Meteorological station, but I have to tell you this, that the weather today seems to be very clear, and for those who want to dry their cassava, I think you can go ahead and pound your cassava and dry. Those people in Alur sub-region, I know their staple food is cassava. Why in nedi danami pakwash, why in danami nebi karashelo danami zombo. And I maberku went in Martina. Yela mokupe, we shall be able to give you updates of every information that you need to know on what is happening in Westnile sub-region locally. And we are starting it right from Arua district, where yesterday they were able to have the council sitting waiting for passing of the budget of the financial year 2023-2024, where over 19 billion has been put aside for the financial year 2023-2024. And so these 19 billion Uganda shillings was passed after a heated debate where some of the councillors were able to accuse the district budget desk officers for always copying and pasting information that have been discussed, that have been, you know, captured for the previous financial year. And so these, the councillors say that the district budget desk officers always copy and paste information that have not been discussed by the 5 committee the members that have been instituted in the district. And so according to one of the councillors, Natalia, who says that she is not interested in this particular budget because what they discuss as a committee of social services were not captured in this particular budget, so they cannot go ahead passing the budget. But later on, when the Chief Administrative Officer Jid Bukenya committed himself that they will be able to correct some of the errors that have really occurred, and then the councillors went ahead to pass the budget. And that means that Arua district 19 billion Ugandan shillings budget that has been put aside for the financial year 2023-2024 was passed with amendment. And so that is something that you need to know. Let's have more on this from the councillors themselves and also the LC5 chairperson, not forgetting the resident district commissioner of Arua district, who spoke to journalists immediately after the passing of the budget. Let us have that story.
Because every time the problem always arises around finance, because finance is the key of our district. You have continued to destroy our district. When finance is getting rotten, we are all getting rotten.
As a district to be there, monitoring is not being done, or supervision is not being done. For example, we have played a deep dive of this project of Oliver Street Secondary School. The first time it appeared in our budget, we said because it was initiated by another district, we had to move out from it. How come it is in our budget 3 times and we are not monitoring that project? Who is come through our district? Who is supervising it? For monitoring there is no money. For supervision there is no money. Committee sitting is no money. Inland travel you find 100 million. Traveling to where? Supervising who?
I am very grateful to be in Council of Arua to present our budget for financial year 2023 and 2024. Out of this budget, we expected to have around 5 sources of income, revenue. Under local revenue, we expect to raise around 567 million. And under DDEG, we expected to raise 2,123,913,000. Under conditional grant, 14,077,000. Under other government transfers, we expect to receive 1,562,000,000. Under our external financing, we expect to receive 1,611 shillings, giving us a total revenue estimate of 19,942,000,000 shillings for Arua District Local Government for financial year 2023 and 2024.
The Arua District Council sitting on the 30th of May 2023, having passed 19.9 billion budget, is a total decline to my own understanding. Because when more administrative units were created, before it was created, Arua district budget used to be over 100 million plus. Then when administrative units were created, Arua now remains with the 4 sub-county districts. So the revenue continued to decline. But in other sectors, there is improvement, slight improvement. Like in the water sector, our budget has improved by at least 1.05%. Our roads, the increment has gone even more than 20%. That's why you realize now we are going to have over 1 billion plus money meant for road, which means in terms of service delivery in the next financial year 2023-2024, which is starting on 1st July 2023, the road condition in Arua district is likely to improve.
The council members of Arua district local government for their seriousness in their submissions, and the submissions they are making clearly shows that they have the district at heart. Now the issues of local revenue where they have identified leakages, this one has been there for a very, very long time. The political leaders do not collect the revenues. It is the technical team that will collect the revenues. So in the process of collecting this, there are leakages. Now where leakages are, the only thing is to block those leakages. So what we have done as a district is the IRS integrated the revenue administration system is going to solve that. Because now we have put that in place, revenues will be collected and the documentation will be electronically.
There has been a divide because the debate has become so lively because of the vigilance of the political leadership when they realized that the technical people did not factor in very, very critical issues like the issue of monitoring, like the issue of committee meetings. Committee meetings are very, very important to inform the operation of the district. And also committee including all stakeholders monitoring of government projects. Also very, very important that the council has required CAO to commit himself that even when they are passing the budget, they are passing it with amendment. And I've really liked it. It has come out very frankly from the honorable councillors, especially in those representing the different sub-counties, that there is a high level of absenteeism at the lower local governments. In the sub-counties, the sub-county chiefs are not up to their game. The accountants and all these other extension workers and the like. So I am personally taking up this responsibility very, very keenly to ensure that people are accountable for the purpose for which they are in the offices. And it's not only about being present in the office, but it's also about being committed to your work. They must cease from being laissez-faire. They must cease from being lazy. They must cease from being indifferent to the situations of our people, so that service delivery is provided efficiently to our people.
All right, thank you very much, the leadership of Arua District, for passing that 19 billion, over 19 billion, budget for the financial year 2023-2024. And the financial year 2023-2024 will start on 1st July, and that is what you need to know. Also, the government financial year is different from our ordinary year that we always know, that starts in January, that ends in December. And so for government, it starts 1st July. And then it goes up to the 30th of June of another year. And so that summarizes what we call the financial year. And so currently we are working on the financial year 2020 to 2023. That will be ending on 30th of June. That is what you need to know. So we are remaining with only 1 month. So if the districts have not been able to spend their budget properly, then the money will be swept back to the consolidated fund at the central government. And so that's something that you need to know. So the district leadership should make sure that they are able to spend the money that has been released released to them. Remember, recently the government of the Republic of Uganda was able to release the fourth quarter of the different, for different sectors that we do have, the education, health, and also other sectors right there. There are around 8 to 9 sectors that are being financed by government of the Republic of Uganda, and so it should be noted that all the district local governments should be able to spend their budget within the financial year. And so once you have failed to utilize the money that has been sent to you, and then the money will be swept back to the consolidated fund. And so once it has been swept back to the consolidated fund, it will be able to affect the funding for the next financial year. And government will say that I think this district seems not to be in need of much money, and so your budget will be reduced through, that is the indicative planning figure, that is the IPF, and so once the IPF is said to you, you will find that they have reduced it a bit because you were not able to utilize the fund that government of the Republic of Uganda was able to send to your district. And so that's something that you need to know. Let's get to issues to do with the homosexuality right here, the anti-homosexuality law that we have in our country, Uganda. Remember, President of the Republic of Uganda was able to sign the anti-homosexuality act into law on 26th of May 2023, but the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda was able to make declaration on 29th, that was Monday, about the signing of the Anti-Homosexuality Act into law by President of the Republic of Uganda. In regards to these Arua city residents, some of them have hailed the President for signing the Anti-Homosexuality Act into law, saying it will safeguard the country's cultures and morals. Meanwhile, others have reservation about the signing of the Anti-Homosexuality Act into law because of some of the issues that the international donors are really threatening to withdraw their funding to our country, Uganda. And so they have a reservation. And so Parliament enacted the Anti-Gay Act in March, and President Museveni assented to it on 26th of May, although news about signing the law was made public only on Monday by the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Anita Annette Among. Let us have more on this story.
Aware of the fact that DGF was cancelled, our societies are still moving on. That is the most positive aspect that I have taken up from there. Though DGF was cancelled, but still we are moving on as Ugandans. So, societies or the donors who feel that because of signing the anti-homosexuality bill, endorsing it, making it a law, is going to affect them, and due to that they are now cancelling their donations to our country, they should go ahead and do it. But remember, as a society or as a community, we shall still stand strong and move forward, because I strongly believe these donations started coming after independence. Before the independence, we never received donations. Our predecessors, the people who were before us, our ancestors, we are not sustaining their standard of living on donations. How can a woman marry a woman and a man marry a man? Yet our scripture, our Bible, those who are Christians, our Bible tells us that we must go out to multiply. A grown-up young man, a grown-up young woman should leave the family of their parents and should get married. They should join one another to build their own families, which is independent. But when this issue of homosexuality came, where young people have been influenced by bribing them, by giving them money, it was something which was really against our culture and our religion.
The decision the members of parliament took and the president took to sign the bill was a very righteous decision. Amongst the few achievements he has, to me that is the most greatest achievement he has. Okay. Amongst the few achievements, that's the most greatest achievement. That has actually cleaned all those other bad things that might happen in this regime. That one, to me, that one signing is a hero in it. Okay. And we must stand firm. And I pity those Ugandan lawyers who went to court challenging that decision. I don't think Chief Attorney General should allow that to happen in Uganda. It shouldn't be allowed. So we are saying our team in the parliament were very right to say no, and the president was very right. And here, if we shall hear an NGO complaining of that, they rather be without the funds and do right things than allowing men to use their ash
some of the national NGOs. There's been a challenge, even with the donors being there, even before the enactment of this act. Many NGOs have been struggling because the donor space, the donor funding space has been shrinking. Every year it keeps reducing, priorities keep changing, and NGOs have been struggling. Now with this, it's going to probably get worse. It's probably going to get worse because many organizations are just writing proposals, waiting for call for proposals. You write and you spend the money and that's it. Sustainability of these organizations with locally generated revenues has been a challenge, even for my own. So I do not want to say that it's because of this act, but I want to say that NGOs and CBOs need to start looking for ways in which they can locally generate resources to run their own operations, because there will come a time where there will be no funding for any of these activities from any foreign source.
Dear viewer, you have heard from different persons who have spoken in regards to the signing of the Anti-Homosexuality Act into law by President of the Republic of Uganda on 26th of May 2023, and it was confirmed, publicly by the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, Right Honorable Anita Among. All right, dear viewer, let's get to Alur sub-region, and we hear from that is Alfred Jawoko, who has some updates for us this morning on what we need to know right the other side. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us this morning, Alfred.
Good morning, Dennis. Good morning to all our viewers. Many thanks to those who are watching us live this morning.
All right, thank you very much. Can you give us a brief about what exactly happened in Pakwash district, where crocodile, has been able to eat a gentleman, and the family is claiming for compensation?
Yes, residents of Ahila village, that is in Mokale Parish, Pakwash sub-county, are demanding for compensation from Uganda Wildlife Authority over the death of one of their village members. Vincent Urumbi, 35 years, resident of Ahila village, was killed by a stray crocodile in the wee hours of Monday morning as he went to cut papyrus mat along the Nile, as part of his body was recovered 2 days after the incident. However, according to one of the family members, Cesario Openja, they want Uganda Wildlife Authority to compensate and take all burial expenses. Openja, when visited the scene, he told me that as a family, they have followed all procedures to claim the compensation, but Uganda Wildlife Authority is trying to pay deaf ears to their cries. But Pakwash sub-county chairperson, Shefas Anyayo Gwokto, urged the affected family to use legal procedures to claim compensation from Uganda Wildlife Authority. For a long time, Oringi, people living along Albert Nile, they have been facing challenges of stray animals from Mashishon Falls National Park coming to their gardens, homes, destroying crops and many things. He expressed worry over the rampant raids by stray animals, more especially from Mashishon Falls National Park. And recently, the members also demanded that if possible, Uganda Wildlife Authority should also put electric fence to avert all these cases. He also appealed to residents to abandon the landing site where the crocodiles are trying to attack people. When contacted for comments, I also called Wilson Kagoro, the community conservation warden at Mashishon Falls National Park. He confirmed the incident and said the government of Uganda will compensate the family of the victim, but they should follow all legal procedures, as Uganda Wildlife Authority contributes only 2% as revenue sharing to the people. And the late Vincent Urumbi survived by a widow and 6 children, and part of his body left by the crocodile was laid to rest at his ancestral home in Ayala village yesterday. So this is what happened in Pakwach sub-county, and the members of the village, they are demanding Bua at least to come and give them a way forward. So
Alfred,
yes.
Is this the first incident that Pakwach district has registered in as far as the wild animals escaping from the conservation area coming to attack the residents who are living along the belt of Albert Nile?
To all our viewers, this is not the first time that wild animals from Assistant Falls National Park coming to destroy people's properties on their land. In January this year, a man was also killed by hippopotamus when they went to fish, but unfortunately they were attacked and one survived, one was killed. So we have rampant cases of stray animals from Assistant Falls National Park coming to give a problem to our people. So what the leaders are trying to do, they're trying to engage Uganda Wildlife Authority officials so that they find a permanent solution to this.
Okay, away from Pakwach, let's get to Zombo district. Last week, good number of family members were taking refuge at the Pubidi Primary School. Can you give us what is the status quo now? Have these residents gone back to their areas after the attack by unknown people who ravaged their village? In regards to the two persons who were killed along Azingli River.
Yeah, on the updates of what is happening in Labora village and Avono, 2 days ago we did see leaders come in place to at least find a way so that these people who were taking refuge at Ubidi Primary School, they can go back and resettle, maybe makeshift, so that they can live in harmony. But when we went to Ubidi 2 days ago, Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, donated some relief items, which includes bed sheets, blankets, mattresses, jerrycans, plus many others, so that those people can go and start their new life. And before we went to Kubizi, we also took part. We went to Avono, where one of the victims was buried, but the other one was taken to Erusi sub-county. MP Zombo District, Honorable Esther Foshan, together with the LC3 by the sub-county, the speakers on the district local government, some councillors, they went to the family, they talked to the family, and the chairperson LC1 talked on behalf of the family members and the community. They agreed that they will not go and attack those people again. But the leaders want the two rival communities to come together and they find a way forward to solve all this problem. And last week, the community was left homeless after the disgruntled community of Avono from Amel Parish, that is in Paita sub-county, logged anger on them setting a place 76 because the number increased. On the day when the incident happened, some 4 houses were not saved. But when we went to the ground again, we found more 4 houses, adding to 76 houses and looting many property. After 2 of their relatives were murdered in cold blood by unknown residents in Labora village. And the Zombo district chairperson, represented by the district speaker, that is Honorable Hassan Ringtho, told the people that you people should find a long-lasting solution so that this incident cannot happen again. So as I talk now, Dennis, and to all our viewers, the leaders are in the process of trying to engage these two community members from Labora and Ame, and by the sub-county, they have 4 parishes of Ame, Oteko, and many others, so that they come and they sit, they settle the issues. And meanwhile, maybe district police commander, because maybe district police came first to the scene and they dispersed this mob. But they want this issue not to happen again. This is the warning he gave during their visit. But during the burial, the Zombo District Police Commander, the CO 57 Battalion also went there. They went and mourned together. So the situation on ground, as school started on Monday, the victims who were taking refuge at Obedi Primary School were told to either go to their relatives, because children were going to use those classrooms. So they were told either to be going to sleep at night, and during the time when children are at school, they go and find where to stay. And this is what is on ground, and the communities now trying to come back to Labora. But ever since that incident happened, some people were also going to loot their properties, not from Avono, but other people. Just they're taking advantage that those people, they're not around.
So where are the people coming from? Are they coming from Paida town?
Not Paida, not Avono, but some people who are taking advantage that those people are not there.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, away from that, maybe do you have any other updates that you want the viewer to know this morning?
Yeah, as school started on Monday, Zombo District registered low turnout of learners on the first day of school opening for the academic calendar 2023. This follows a survey conducted. I went to some of the schools, government-aided schools and private schools within Zombo District. The number of learners is not pleasing, as some teachers attribute the low turnout of learners to parents who engage their children in garden work during this hour. But at Mvogo Upper Primary School, the head teacher, Grisim Aneko, he said girls' enrollment overpowers boys, and out of 1,986 children, over 1,200 reported on the first day. I also went further to Charity College Paida. The head teacher, Hendu Olwen, attributes economic crisis that forces many parents to keep their children at home. But by the town council chairperson, Innocent Onega, he revealed that he visited some schools in the town council, but got disappointed as some of the schools still have low turnout of learners, and he tasked all stakeholders to take part in monitoring schools for better achievements and effort, and then to get comments from the production officer, that is Nicholas Sodeba, proved futile as he was engaged in monitoring some of these schools. But above all, today is the third day. I will also move trying to get how many children have turned up.
Okay. All right, thank you very much, Alfred Jawako, for speaking to us this morning and giving us update from the district of that is Pakwaj, and also knowing more about the conflict that took place in Avono village, that is in Paida sub-county, right there, Zombo district, and also the issues to do with the school reopening. And you have to know that school reopened on 29th Monday, May 2023, and today is day 3 of our learners being in their classrooms. And so I believe that that with this update from Zobo District, the district leadership should be able to really open up their eyes in regard to really seeing that learners report back to the school. When I was in primary from one of the schools in Nebi District, we used to have this common say that the first week is only for slashing and cleaning the dust on the desk, and so teachers will not be committed to teaching, and so we leave that to those who would be reporting on the first week of the start of the term to do such, general cleanness. Well, for us, we shall wait for the time that teachers will begin getting in the classrooms to begin teaching officially. And so I hope it is not the case like what I'm saying this morning. I believe that this time around it is so different that learning starts right from day one. Learning is not about sitting in the classroom, copying notes, and also attending to the teachers. I know maybe teachers attending to you. Learning starts right from the time that you report. At what time have you reported back to school? And that is part of learning for your information. So when we talk about holistic education, we mean not only grasping the content and the concept that is being taught by the teachers, but also in that environment of the school, how are you learning different things? Even participating in general cleanness is part of learning, and that tells you how somebody is able to take his personal hygiene and also the hygiene of his home, where he comes from, whether this child is committed or whether this person is committed to cleaning his environment. And for those you see in your neighborhood who are not mindful of their environment, also they are not mindful of their home, these are people who used to report on the third week when schools begin, because they dodge general cleanness. And once they dodge general cleanness, they grow up with such. By the way, for your information, if you see somebody who is very shabby, even if the person is educated, you have to know that that person was not involved in any general cleanness when the person was still studying. And so to our young children, to our learners, you have to report on the first day when a school begins, because that is where you start learning from. Learning is not about copying notes and attending to the exercises that are being given to you by the teachers in the classrooms. No, it starts right from the time that you report back to school. I do not know whether nowadays the children, more especially the pupils and the students, do sing the national anthem and the East African anthem and also the kingdom anthem. Well, for the children who are in West Nile, we have a Lur Kingdom that has got its own anthem. We have the Lugbarakari that has got its own anthem. Are the children in these schools that we have in these kingdoms, in this casual jurisdiction, singing this anthem? If they're not thinking, that means that nowadays even teachers don't organize what? General assembly. It is very rare. There is this common practice nowadays in our schools, more especially secondary schools. You find that assemblies are only twice in a week. Why? Why should you have only assemblies? Assembly only twice in a week, Monday and Friday. That means that during the course of the week, you don't communicate to these learners. So we have turned our schools to be, I do not know which word I should really use to describe. I do not know whether learning do take place in these schools, because what I'm currently seeing happening in our schools is quite different from what we went through when we were in school. I do not know whether the learners are really getting to understand why they're in school, and the teachers themselves know why they're in school. Because you cannot have assembly only on Monday and then you conclude on Friday with assembly. In actual sense, for you to have these learners have holistic education, constant communication and announcements have to be made to these learners. Nowadays, some schools, they have cleaners who clean school compound for the learners. Then these learners, their work is only to come and enter inside classroom and attend to the teachers, and they attend lessons. That is, I would use the word nonsense. Then why are these learners in school? Learning is not about social studies, English, mathematics, and science. No. Even if you are going to teach science, learning of the science subject starts right from outside, not inside the classroom. So when you're talking about cleanliness, when you're talking about sanitation, and you're not making these learners involved in the sanitation and cleanliness of the school, then which topic are you teaching to these learners in science? Call sanitation. You don't want these learners to learn to have hands-on. I love the motto of one of the schools. Educating the head, the heart, and the hand. Yes, you can educate these children in their head, but if their heart is not educated to love, if their hands are not educated to do things practically, let me tell you, at the end of that circle of learning, this child or these children, they come out as useless. Because they have learned nothing. And so to our schools said, please, you have a very big work to do, a very big one. If you still go with what we currently see happening in our schools, then the kind of children that we shall continue to produce are these children who will come and sit by the roadside, guarding the tarmac roads, guarding these government roads that we have. And wherever you go, what they will ask you is, what are you leaving us with? I am tired of such question whenever I go to meet some people, especially the young people along the roadside. How much have you left with me that I should leave for you? Move around, go to around Bondo area, go to Arivo. In the evening, early in the morning at this particular time, you find young people already at the roadside. And you know what? The majority of people who completed Senior 4 and Senior 6 are the one guarding those roads. I expect in this country at this particular time, whoever completes P7 should be able to reason. Because we believe that the kind of education that the person has received from the school where he or she went to is a holistic education. But how can these children receive holistic education when they are being told to report to school at 6 a.m. in the morning and they go straight to classrooms? And these children are not made even to wash latrines because there are cleaners who are supposed to wash latrines for these learners. And so for our parents, you have to be very mindful of the kind of school that you take your child to. If you take your child to a school that does not want your child even to clean the latrine or the toilet, then you have to know that you're going to have problem in your home. And even the home of this child in future will be in a total mess because this child has not been taught the right way of how things are supposed to be done. And so what are we doing as parents? What kind of schools are we choosing for our children? I see people ferrying their children away from Westnile, taking them to Kampala schools. Yes, you want your child to pass in Division 1, to attain that good grades. But what kind of education is this child receiving? When the person completes from that Kampala school, when he comes back home, what kind of work does this child do? What kind of behavior does this child portray? They become vagabonds. And then you begin saying that, you see, education system in this country is rotten. It is you who shows that kind of school that your child is supposed to go to. And that's why I will always praise some of the government schools that we do have, the UP schools that some people tend to look at, to underlook at. Some of us went through those schools, and here we are. We are proud of those schools because we were able to learn something. We received holistic education. And allow me to say this morning that let me thank very much the government of the Republic of Uganda for thinking about the children of the soldiers and introducing the army schools. We have the Gulu Army Secondary School, we have Nakasongola Asholpi Army Secondary School, we have Masindi Army, Bombo Army. So those are the schools that we need, you understand. And if you take your child to such school, come to Bondo. Go take your child to Bondo Army. And trust me, I have never met a child who has gone to an army school and is really, you know, one of the confused young people around. They are always perfect. They are always doing, they are doing something at least. Even if somebody has completed Senior 4. Because the kind of education you receive there, you receive holistic education. There's nothing like smooshing here that you see this is a child of so and so, of this rich man. No, we cannot cane. They cane you. If any are saying that there's no caning in schools, let me tell you, there are some schools that one, they don't joke around with that. And so for those who have gone to those government schools and you have been taught good manners, continue with your good manners. Continue to practice what you have been taught, even if you have not attained degree and diplomas. It's good that I'm hearing that some of the degrees are expired. I do not know. I think somebody who completed senior 6 and senior 4 is even better than those who have even attained those degrees that they boast of, because they cannot even do something very simple. Writing mere application is a problem. They cannot even write official letter. They cannot even slash their own compound. The environment where they stay is very bushy. They don't know how to slash because they were not introduced to slashing. They were not introduced to sweeping toilets. Go to some of the toilets where these government offices are. You find people are really writing their names using feces on the walls. And then you ask yourself, are we having rebels here? Are we having people who went to school or people who went to the school? So all these are taught in schools, my dear. Some might not be taught. They might not write it on the blackboard, but you have to learn together with others. So if you still have that manner of going to a latrine and writing your name using feces, using your fingers, then I'm sorry for you. And to make matter worse, that people who put in good, with good necktie and suits are the one doing this kind of nonsense. Then what kind of education are we receiving? And so, can we take our children to school? And as parents, we have to choose what kind of school are you taking your child to. It's not about all what has been written, primary school, secondary school, nursery school. Our schools, no. Take time. Don't rush. Don't follow others because they are even lost. You'll find yourself even lost with them. Don't take your child to that school because your neighbor has also taken his or her child to that school. Take your child to a school that will give what your child deserves and what will support your child, even if the child stops on the way with his or her education. The child will be able to learn, and the child will be able to practically implement what he or she was taught. I am not a teacher, but I am a teacher also. So we continue to urge parents that it is us to change our situation, and it is us to make our children learn the right way, not any other person. You cannot expect President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to come and tell you that this is how you're supposed to teach your child. No. It is your child. You cannot expect the Minister of Education to come and say, discipline your child. No. You know the behavior of your child because he or she eats from your home, sleeps at your home, and you are the one providing each and everything. Now, why should you say that my child has defeated me? I always laugh at those parents who always say such kind of things, that my child has defeated me. Your child will never defeat you unless you're also a defeated parent. A very good morning to you. Let's go for a break, and when we come back, I will be diving into more information that you need to know right this morning. My name is Dennis Oringi. Have the best of your morning.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
The Ministry of Health will conduct yellow fever preventive mass vaccination campaign for all persons aged 9 months up to 60 years. These people should have never been vaccinated against yellow fever. The yellow fever campaign will be conducted in phases, with the first phase covering districts in the regions of Arua, Guru, Lira, Kabare, Kabarore, and Hoima. The campaign will begin on the 9th of June and end on the 13th of June 2023 and will be conducted in all government health facilities and outreach posts. All parents and caregivers are requested to take their children aged 9 months to the nearest health facility and outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever disease. All adults aged up to 60 years but have never been vaccinated should go to health facilities and vaccination outreach posts to get vaccinated against yellow fever. Ministry of Health calls upon everybody to report any person who presents with signs and symptoms such as yellowing of eyes, fever, headache, muscle pain, feeling of vomiting or nausea, vomiting, and general body weakness or fatigue to the nearest health facility or health worker immediately for medical attention. This could be yellow fever. Yellow fever vaccine is a single dose given once in a lifetime. The yellow fever vaccine is safe, effective, and free. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health with support from Gavi and partners.
I'm telling you that all the spirit of DJ Jerome. My. Hear the spirit. Yes. Hey! You give me strength all the way. Oh yeah, I gotta spend it all. My name is Simon, living with DJ Jerome.
I am Fifi. Yeah.
Let's do it! Say! DJ Jerome! You one of the best!
Get more for less on Star Times this Easter season. Cartoon channel for best children entertainment. New global series. Local drama on Makula TV and football all around the world. Simply make weekly or monthly subscription and enjoy upgrade to the next bouquet. For classic or super bouquet customers, subscribe for a month and enjoy 5 days extra. Family time with Star Times. Star Times is regulated by UCC.
And DJ Jero comes on the floor. Chill. Give me advice.
Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana. Tekina kitambana. Nami ndo kitambana.
Mudonda bakunyumirwa wano tewanyuma. Tewazena kula pia katimbo. Tonde kunyumirwa dekazine. Aluwa kiruze kuwa zinira mu. Lekazine. Toja zina. Toja zina. Wangano zina anda watonywa bia.
Amatuki. Atongoku. Ikatuku mini bia yoba.
Westnile TV, lighting up the region.
It is 31st of that is May 2023. 18 minutes past an hour. That is 8 AM right on Western Television. Allow me to let you know that we'll be diving into other stories that you need to know right this morning. What is happening in our country, Uganda, and also what you need to know. All right, I need to apologize for some of the parents that have been very hot with them. You know, this is life. So if you don't need to learn, you will be able to learn from others, and so that's something that I can really let you know right this morning in regards to what you need to know. Dear viewer, you need to know that what is taking the center stage in our country, Uganda, at this particular time is the issue of siding of the homosexuality, the anti-homosexuality act into law by President of the Republic of Uganda, and so the Speaker of Parliament of the Republic of Uganda has been restricted from going to United States of America. And remember, yesterday I did bring to you a story that the donors might be withdrawing their funding to Uganda in regards to that is supporting the HIV AIDS patients that we do have, persons living with HIV here in our country, Uganda. If Uganda does not repeal the anti-homosexuality law right there. But I have to tell you that there are some people who have ran to court to challenge the decision, the signing of the anti-homosexuality act into law, and so we shall be waiting for that deliberations whether they will be able to succeed in challenging that particular law that President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was able to sign, and so we leave it to that is what is taking place in our country, Uganda, in regards to that right there. And so we'll be diving into other issues that you need to know. I'm supposed to let you know what we have in the Daily Monitor this morning. Allow me to let you know that some of the stories are also trending in our country, Uganda, and so you need to know this morning in regards to our country. Create alternatives for communities enslaved by tobacco, CSOs to government. Remember, West Nile is one of the sub-regions that we have in this country that is known for growing tobacco. Civil society organizations are really requesting government to create alternatives for the communities that have been enslaved by tobacco right there. And so health rights activists under the Uganda National Health Consumers Organization have asked government to create viable alternative income generating ventures for communities enslaved by tobacco farming and production right there. And so according to that is Uganda National Health Consumers Organization head legal Moses Telibita says that finding an alternative will help the community to abandon that is growing the crop, which poses a life-threatening risk to those who are still depending on tobacco to earn income. And so in West Nile districts that are really known for growing tobacco, Zumbu was known for growing tobacco, but I love the fact that they're moving away from tobacco growing to food crop growing and also other cash crops like coffee, bananas, and also talking about beans and also other crops that are alternatives to that is tobacco. But the district that is still, you know, growing tobacco in West Nile, I know Varua district, if you have to go to around Ajia, Arivo, sub-county, you'll still find people in tobacco garden. Come to Terego. I think Terego currently is the lead grower of tobacco, talking about Marasha and also part of Yumbe. And so the civil society organization is telling government that please, can you find alternatives for these communities that have been enslaved by tobacco right there. And so that is something that you need to know. So those who are in the districts that are known for growing that is tobacco, you need to think of other alternatives so that you're safe. Uganda to host the 55th, that is AFRA Annual General Assembly right there. So Uganda has been chosen as the venue for the 55th General Assembly of the African Airlines Association in November 2023, held every year since 1969. The AFRA General Assembly is the biggest aviation conference in Africa, that is with the delegates ranging from airlines, chief aircraft manufacturers, aviation service providers, consultants, and stakeholders. Addressing the press in Kampala yesterday, the Minister of Works and Transport General Edward Katumba Wamala revealed that the three-day November 19th to 12th event will attract over 500 high-profile delegates from the aviation industry in Africa, Europe, the Middle East, Asia, and North America. And so quoting him verbatim, saying that some of you should start calculating how much you are going to make out of the visitation of these delegates. For instance, through service provision, hosting such an event in just a 3-day space of operation for Uganda Airlines is a historical vote of confidence in the country and an indication that the revival of Uganda Airlines was not in vain. General Katumba further said that the event also brings life optimism in the aviation sector and justification to nature for the next generation of aviators to grow the industry. Uganda also views the conference as an opportunity to market its tourist attractions right there. And so the AFRA General Secretary Abderrahmane Bathé expressed concern over need for using the conference to address challenges related to air transport in Africa, such as high cost right there. And so that's something that you need to know in regards to this AFRA Annual General Assembly that will be hosted by Uganda as a country. Museveni commends NRM legislators on value addition is the story that you need to know that is in the Daily Monitor this morning. President Museveni has commended the National Resistance Movement Parliamentary Caucus members on value addition. The president noted that the NRM MPs had concurred with him the value addition should be implemented because it benefits all Ugandans is what you need to know. The president made the remarks yesterday during the 10-day NRM Parliamentary Caucus retreat at the National Leadership Institute Nali in Chamkwanzi right there. The retreat activities running under the theme increasing household incomes and wealth creation. The critical role of the leader. How much money does Uganda lose in exporting unprocessed coffee? That should be the question, President Museveni said. So he's quoting him verbatim saying, I am happy to hear that now you agree with me that value addition is a minimum position for all of us. For me and you, once we have good roads and electricity in place, all other sectors will follow, but let's start with power and electricity. I think this sounds nice in the ears of the members of parliament from West Nile who continue to advocate for the region to be connected to the national grid. Remember, currently West Nile is still depending on the private power generators and also distributor, and that is West Nile Rural Electrification Company Limited, when RECO right there. And so government of the Republic of Uganda promised that by September this year, the national grid will be connected to West Nile. And so we are waiting whether this will be true, since President Museveni has confirmed that power and electricity is really very key when it comes to the issue of value addition. We have a value addition factory right here in Zambia that has not yet been put into use, and the government of the Republic of Uganda was able to spend over 10 billion to really put up that particular facility. According to the interactions that I've been able to have with some people, they do say that the power that we have in West Nile cannot really cannot run that machine at the value addition facility in Zambia. So let's wait for the national grid to be connected, and then we find out whether the problem is still the power or the problem is something else that need to be addressed by the persons that we have in Western sub-region. And so the president also agreed with the legislators that in case of any issue, mostly about presidential proposals, the NRM parliamentary caucus will sit with him in a caucus and resolve the matters amicably. About district roads, President Museveni agreed with the legislators that each district should receive 1 billion for Maram Road, saying the roads boost development. On district hospitals, the president proposed that health centers 3s and health center 4s be empowered with doctors, as those facilities are the first areas for the management of various diseases. He also rooted for prevention methods right from the unborn babies through attendance of antenatal clinics, immunization, among others, other than treatment right there. So we are talking about health centers 3s, health centers 4s to be having doctors, but we are not really facilitating the intern doctors that we do have at different hospitals that we have in this country, Uganda, and we allow the intern doctors to continue with their strike, and I believe that we shall be able to learn some lesson out of that as a country. We need the doctors in these health center 3s and health center 4s, but we are not facilitating these doctors. How come we shall be able to achieve that if we do not facilitate them? I think this goes back to the Ministry of Health to really find a budget that can really finance these intern doctors that are really working at different hospitals that we have in this country, Uganda. And so that is what I can really give you in regards to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni meeting the NRM legislators at Nali Chamkwanzi right there. Kenyan Muslim clerics back Museveni's crackdown on gay is also another story that you need to know, that the Kenyan Muslim clerics back Museveni's crackdown on gays right there. A day after Ugandan President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni signed into law a bill that imposes death and life sentences on lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer, that is LGBTQ people in Uganda, the Supreme Court of Islamic Scholars, known as Fatwa, has endorsed the move. The council's deputy chairman Sheikh Abubakar Bini congratulated President Museveni and urged other leaders in the Africa to emulate him. The law has been described as the harshest anti-LGBTQ law in the world, is what you need to know. Speaking in Eldoret, Sheikh Bini urged Kenyan members of parliament to speed up the process of tabling a similar bill in parliament. He said Islamic religious scholars have already started a push to get the bill introduced in the Kenyan parliament on behalf of Kenyans, should the MP state to introduce it in parliament. So you have to know that members of parliament in Kenya have not yet introduced this particular bill on the floor of Parliament of Kenya. Meanwhile, for our country, Uganda, it's a done and dusted deal right at this particular time, because President of the Republic of Uganda, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, has been able to send his signature to the Anti-Homosexuality Act that has become a law in this country. And so he added that President Museveni's action will earn him recognition as an African hero who ignored threats from Western nations by putting African values first. And so also supporting President Museveni's move was the Council of Preachers and Imams of Kenya, which said it would use every opportunity to push for the enactment of a similar law in Kenya in the fight against homosexuality and the general LGBTQ activities that is in Kenya right there. Similarly, Bishop Peter Simwa, the chairman of the Association of the Gospel Ministries in Eldoret supported Museveni's move, saying the LGBTQ is against the teaching of the Bible and degrades morals. Right there, the bishop claimed the pastors in Eldoret will soon hold demonstrations in the city to pressure parliamentarians to draft a law outlawing homosexuality in Kenya is what you need to know right there. Also, away from that, you need to know that the court declines to grant Nagrinya murder suspect 50 million to summon witnesses, and then also for Hoima City officials arrested over abuse of office is also another story that you need to know that is taking place in our country, Uganda. Ugandan activists call for sanctions after tough anti-gay law passed is also another story in the Daily Monitor this morning. Then Masindi Hospital grapples with a faulty machine is also another story. And then government appeals nullification of Narcotic Drug Act is also that is the story that you need to know. That the Attorney General Kirowa Kiwanuka has filed a notice of appeal against the decision of the Constitutional Court nullifying the Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances Control Act of 2016. In his notice to the Registrar of the Court of Appeal, Franklin Wizera, writing on behalf of the Solicitor General Francis Atoke, says that the Attorney General is dissatisfied with the ruling. And so the May 24th, 2023 letter requests the court to provide a certified copy of the ruling and the record of proceedings in Constitutional Petition number 1 of 2017, which involved the case of Akiso Mira Growers and Dealers Association Limited versus the Attorney General. To demonstrate the government's commitment to the appeal, the letter is accompanied by a notice of appeal that has been duly received and stamped by both the Court of Appeal and the Center for Legal Aid, the legal representatives of the petitioners right there. And so the government's decision to appeal stems from a successful petition filed in 2017 by Wakiso Mira Growers and Dealers Association Limited against the Attorney General. And so the petitioners contested the constitutionality of the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Act, specifically its prohibition and criminalization of Kata Edulis, that is cat, commonly known as Mira or Mairunji in Uganda. So they argued that the prohibition lacked scientific evidence and infringed upon their livelihoods, property rights, and cultural and social economic well-being as Mira farmers, sellers, and consumers. On May 5th, 2023, a panel of Constitutional Court justices led by Deputy Chief Justice Richard Botera unanimously allowed the petition and nullified the entire law based on the absence of a quorum without delving into the other grounds raised in the petition. And so in response to the nullification, the Wakiso Mira Growers and Dealers Association wrote to the Speaker of Parliament and the Minister for Internal Affairs seeking an opportunity for meaningful consultation. They emphasized that their primary concern was the lack of sufficient prior consultation rather than solely the absence of the quorum. Isaac Semakande, the lawyer representing the Wakiso Mira Growers and the Dealers Association, characterized the Attorney General's appeal as misguided. He acknowledged the government's concerns but argued that the appeal failed to address the core issue revealed by the Constitutional Court. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, had previously set a timeline for the Attorney General to reintroduce the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Bill. However, the Attorney General's request for additional time was denied. If the government does not take prompt action, Bujiri Municipality Member of Parliament Asman Basalirwa may introduce the bill as a private member's bill. The proposed legislation aims to regulate the possession, trafficking, and cultivation of narcotic drugs and psychotropic substances while addressing the forfeiture of property derived from illicit drug activities right there. And so that is something that you need to know in regards to the Narcotic Drugs Act that was nullified by the Constitutional Court of the Republic of Uganda. All right, dear viewer, thank you very much, dear viewer, this morning, and allow me to dive into what we have in the world of sports this morning before I sign out right here this morning. Dear viewer, you need to know that 3 Premier League clubs submit bids for Sunderland's Jaka Clegg is also another story that you need to know in the world of sports right there. Then Liverpool open talks with the Borussia, that is Mönchengladbach, that is Manu Kone. And then Everton to make a Cody decision in next 24 hours is also another decision right there. And then Manchester United's Anthony Martial ruled out of FA Cup final. And then England's Jude Bellingham set to undergo knee surgery ahead of Real Madrid move is also another story. And And then also in the transfer right, the Manchester United willing to pay, that is 65 million pounds. Diogo Costa release close is also what you need to know. And then Newcastle United to open, that is talks of a new Fabian Saka deal is the story that you need to know. Manchester City, Pep Guardiola named the Premier League manager of the season. I think good news for Manchester City fan right there. Tottenham, Newcastle United battling for both James and Madison and Javi Banis. Real Madrid striker Karim Benzema offered lucrative Saudi move. And then Wolverhampton Wanderers among clubs interested in Real Madrid defender, that is Nacho right there. Rangers announced a permanent signing of Dijon Sterling from Chelsea. It's also another story that you need to get interested in. Then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to be fast to leave Chelsea according to the reports that we have obtained right this morning right there. So dear viewer, I think that is what I have for you in the world of sports this morning, because currently what is happening is the transfer rumors because the Premier League has ended, and so we need to know who is going where, who is staying, who is leaving, and who is going to be brought on board to join other teams to join the teammates for different that is the clubs that we have in Premier League right there. Meanwhile, for other you can also get interested in what's happening in the world of tennis and also cricket as well, and also rugby and also golf, boxing, and more in the world of sports. And thank you very much, dear viewer, for being with us this particular time. Allow me to stop here for today as I get involved in other assignments that I do have ahead of me. We thank you, we do appreciate you for always waking up together with Westnile Television. We always give you each and every update that you need to know right here on Westnile Television. KOKOLIRIKO Show Live. It's a show that comes your way every Monday through Friday with me, Denis Oringi, on Westnile Television. For those who want to do business with us, you can really write to us using the contacts that are really scrolling on your screen down right there. Up next is going to be the Business Bank with Maurice Eriku right here on Westnile Television. We thank you very much. Catch me again at exactly 7 p.m. when I will be bringing for you the news in the program, the Nile Cast, that comes your way every Monday through Monday at exactly 7 p.m. right there. Good morning.